welcome to the news on Canal English. I am Elie Smith, sitting in for Henry Kejang Atembe. First, the headlines. The far north region of Cameroon is again under attack, this time around from suicide bombers with the hallmarks of Boko Haram. The reported death toll stands at 4. There are many ways to know that Cameroon is a bilingual English and French-speaking country. One of them is how English language newspapers survive in predominantly French-speaking town, and it can also be on how French language newspapers, if they do exist in that other part of Cameroon, do survive in Anglophone regions or towns. The African Union Summit is over, with the continental body having a new chairman and also a new head for the body's commission. But the new chairman, Alpha Condé, has sounded a new bell to his colleagues. Respect time, and guess what? Why is it that the internet connections at the headquarters of the African Union is slow? Those were the headlines. As I announced at the introduction of this news, the far north region of Cameroon was early this morning hit by a double suicide attack, precisely in the locality of Dubois in the Mayo-Sava division. Reports say several people have sustained injuries and are currently receiving medical attention. However, latest information or an updated information has it that 4 people have died, among which are 3 alleged terrorists and a civilian. The governor of the far north has called on the locals to be more vigilant and report any suspicious person or movements. From the far north, we go right to the east of the country, that is in Betua, where pre-selection tests for candidates to undertake the Rapid Intervention Brigade entrance exams in the East region is underway. And out of the 1,536 candidates enrolled, only 400 will sit for the exams. Why? Details with our intern, Banlav Modest.
This is the overall winner, with jersey number 1, who crosses the finish line carrying a bag that weighs 20 kilograms, covering a distance of 20 kilometers. Some candidates crossed the finish line on time, while others completed their task with tears in their eyes. Candidates went through a number of exercises in the pre-selection. Since the day that I deposited my document, my elder brother told me that if I wanted to be a champion and put on the uniform like him, that I would have to work hard and that he will not be there with me. When I went back home, I told him that I will work hard and wear the uniform like him. Initially, there were 1,536 candidates, and 922 were finally selected to compete after they have gone through a series of medical checkups. All this under the supervision of military services and the governor of the East region. There is a panel that supervises the recruitment to ensure transparency. We also control the registration forms and the receipt of the candidates to ensure that they are all valid. Every candidate receives a bracelet. All candidates undertake fingerprint tests, and we also take their passport-size photographs. Before and after the race, we wear the bags to ensure it has the normal weight before and after the race. After this first phase of the competition, they will undertake a 10-kilometer sport walk before the last medical checkup that will enable those taking part in the competition to be selected.
We only hope that after that, they will be able to defend our national territory patriotically. And from the east, we are going to the northwest region and the regional capital of Bamenda, where the Social Democratic Front Party has called for the unconditional release of all persons arrested in Anglophone Cameroon during the ongoing social crisis. That is one of the 10-point resolutions arrived at after Saturday's NEC meeting held in Bamenda. It was presided at by Chairman Nijon Frundi. The National Executive Committee of the SDF strongly condemned the current spate of arrests, which they described as kidnapping and abduction, and also the ferrying of suspects to Yaoundé out of their areas of residence for trials under the Civil Law Code instead of the common law. The Bamenda NEC conclave equally accused the government of violating international conventions by depriving residents of Anglophone Cameroon of internet connection as a result of her failure to resolve the Anglophone lawyers' teachers' problems. Members of the NEC also empowered their chairman to engage in discussions with religious, political, and other opinion leaders in a bid to get the country out of the present crisis. Last weekend's meeting was the first after the appointment of Senator Chomelo Jean as the new Secretary General of the Social Democratic Front. From Bamenda, we are going to the Center Province, where, in line with the National Week of Bilingualism, our newsroom in Yaoundé wanted to know more on how English language newspapers, which could be a yardstick in our bilingualism barometer, survives in the nation's capital, which is predominantly French-speaking. And the person who went around was our one and only Beatrice Ngamo, and this is what she brought back.
This is how the newspapers are being displayed. At Lonkak this January 31st, no trace of a single newspaper in the English language. Our next stop, Tamtam Weekend Neighborhood, headquarters of the Guardian Post, the only English daily. Publishing in Yaoundé, not easy.
There are some public officials who still think that if everything is not done in French, we are not being loyal to the head of state. But I think there is some kind of awareness, and more and more we have institutions that believe that the people who speak English in this country should also know what they are doing.
Intrusion of English newspapers in French dominating zone. Guardian Post, like the Post, not different. The challenges of access to information difficult, as most authorities just fear to express self in the Queen's language. Access to adverse space, rare. Most prefer in their language, majority of whom are francophones. The absence of companies in the northwest and southwest makes things even worse. But they are surviving at least.
For the public institutions, ministries and public institutions, it is sometimes difficult because, as you may know, we don't have so many Anglophone general managers. It has nothing to do with politics. That's the truth about it. And so most of the Francophone general managers would prefer to give adverts and announcements, even in English, to French newspapers. But again, there are some managers who think that Anglophones or those who speak English in this country should know what they are doing.
Their survival, they say.
If you are credible, if your newspaper is good, I'm sure you can make it in Yaoundé.
The number of English language newspapers today in Yaoundé tells it is not all that bad.
Well, Beatrice Ngamo has said it all, and I have nothing else to add on it. And back here in Douala, you have customs and their stakeholders have been urged to work hand in glove to facilitate the mastery of procedures to promote growth of the economy. The call was made at the open day ceremony for customs to mark World Custom Day that is celebrated under the theme Data Analysis for Effective Border Management. For more, we have the details with Gladys Ambo.
Cameroon Customs Department and its partners are ready to assist in the growth of the economy. This willingness was expressed at the start of open day activities for customs at the government square in Bonanjo, Douala. The representative of the governor of the littoral region and the Minister of Finance exhorted customs and all stakeholders to work hand in hand for efficiency. The Director General for Customs, Edwin Fongot Novaga, on his part said it is a moment to resolve all problems that could hamper the implementation of measures taken to promote growth. He equally highlighted the importance of the theme Data Analysis for Effective Border Management by identifying the main areas of focus, of safeguard measures, the rationalization of tax exemption, strengthening controls, and the treatment of the budgetary impacts of government revenue. We are better placed to clarify the population and even the government. Stakeholders are seriously committed and wish to make good use of the event. We want to work hard so that business persons should have a mastery of the procedures so that our ports should be competitive. Several companies that are taking part in the activities that wrap up this January 31 are exhibiting their know-how. It should be noted that Senior Custom Officer Achua Elias Ambi, who was promoted to higher ranks, received his epaulets at the ceremony.
Still in Douala, from trying to improve border management and their data analysis to the desire of the public authorities of this city to try to hone or try to guide back motorbike riders in the city, where they have been instructed to obtain Category A driving license. A pre-driving test to that effect mobilized several motorbike riders at their training center here at the nation's economic capital. For more, let's listen together or watch together the details with Christelle Catala.
Obtaining the Category A driving license is henceforth compulsory for motorbike riders. The document will permit to differentiate those who operate legally and illegally in the sector. The difference lies in the aspect that one person operates legally and the other illegally. So when you accept to follow the rules and regulations, it means you're a motorbike rider. You have your particulars. In a bid to obtain this Category A driving license, members of the syndicates of motorbike riders gathered at their special training center for a pre-driving test. These children you see have been following lessons for close to 1 month now. We will have to proceed to an evaluation to see if they have mastered highway code and to also see if, in terms of moral and education, things have changed. The training session permitted many bike riders to master highway codes. There are some things I used to ignore, but I had the opportunity to receive them thanks to the training. While waiting for the official examination that will grant them their driving license, motorbike riders will go for another pre-driving test on the 8th of February.
Still in Douala, where its inhabitants are henceforth required to take part in development initiatives. This is the essence of the Forum on Citizen Dialogue currently taking place in the town of Douala. Participants are carrying out strategies to improve on community actions and promote dialogue. Once again, more with Gladys Ambo.
Talks between local councils and stakeholders will henceforth intensify to prevent initiatives that could hamper harmonious developments. Reason why these officials, stakeholders and some Douala city dwellers are meeting to discuss community development, strategies to be implemented and tools to promote dialogue. The importance of citizen dialogue is a permanent exigency, especially for a cosmopolitan town like Douala, where the population is heterogeneous in its thoughts. This initiative of the Douala City Council is aimed at improving the standard of living of the population and promote coexistence with the experiences of Bamako and Dakar expected. The town of Bamako is partner to this activity. This is the reason why we are taking part in the forum. I want you to know that with the experience of Dakar, we have been inspired. I think the initiative needs to be supported. Dakar has been a town which was inspired by others and which understood early that it needed an inclusive participating management through citizen dialogue. Discussions at the Forum for Citizen Dialogue that would last for 3 days will permit participants understand how citizen participation for development works and how it should be for the town of Douala.
Well, we only hope that words are not just words and that the national or the city dialogue is going to yield some fruits and that we are going to see some streets like that of Bonabo or the Bonabo around constructed. Now we are going to come back and stay still in Douala. For those who know Emmanuel Chachwe, they may just know that he is the CEO of Canal International. But we are informed right here that he is also fighting against poliomyelitis, and he is Cameroon's UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. And he was certainly on the field, not certainly, he was on the field in the villages of Banjul and Bayangam in the West region recently. Why was he there? Simply to mobilize the locals on the need to vaccinate their children against poliomyelitis. Our roving reporter was with him. And who is that roving reporter? It was Beatrice Ngamo once again.
Striking image, and it is the beginning of a new follow-up mission. Emmanuel Chachwe, the new UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, was on the field to certain the effectiveness of vaccination against poliomyelitis. This 28th to 29th January 2017, the chairman, managing director of Canal International, was on a door-to-door campaign as UNICEF's Goodwill Ambassador at Banjul and Bayangam, West region of Cameroon. His engagement by the side of the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF.
Pour ceux qui étaient sur le terrain avec moi,
for those who were on the field with me, you saw children moving on foot, and I was exactly like them. And these children need to be like me tomorrow.
être comme moi aussi demain.
And to make sure authorities in place assure the rights of each child to health and education, UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, who accompanied the resident representative to Cameroon, Felicite Chibinda, discussed with the governor of the West region, our Fonka Augustine, on this just cause.
Si je me suis engagé pour cette cause,
if I engage in this cause, it is because I want the child in Ube to be like that of Bonapriso, want a child in Mokolo to be like that of Bastos. Why I took the engagement? Because when it rains on all, same too with sun for all.
quand il fait soleil pour tout le monde.
The field trip, rich with significance because it was in the West region that the last case of the white polio virus was discovered. If Cameroon since 2015 have not had any new case, prevention through local vaccination days unfolds normally with themes on the field.
At the beginning, for instance, for the social mobilizer, we had only 7,000 for the whole country, and it was really big for one team to cover what they are supposed to cover. So we increased the number of social mobilizer. For nationwide, it's more than 40,000, so that we reduce a bit the load of what they are supposed to do.
Objective of this collaboration between the new UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, Emmanuel Chachwe, and UNICEF is to reinforce mobilization, sensitization of the local population, and opinion leaders on vaccination against poliomyelitis.
Well, that was good to see Chachwe in another form. As I remind you all, Emmanuel Chachwe is the CEO of Canal International. So we'll be leaving Cameroon to Gabon, where the indomitable Lions of Cameroon intensify preparation as they get set to play against the formidable Black Stars of Ghana with their array of superstars come Thursday in the second semi-final match of the 2017 African Cup of Nations. Today, head coach Hugo Broos granted a press conference and match bonuses dominated talks. The Lions say victory is their major problem and not bonuses. Meantime, Wednesday, Burkina Faso will take on Egypt in the first semi-final match, and that match is scheduled to take place at 8 p.m. The finalists of the FENASCO A Games are now known. This was after the finals, which took place in Bafia, the headquarters of the Mbam and Enubu division. The ceremony took place in the presence of the divisional officer of the divisional officer, Mr. Shuaibo. Our intern, Lorian Ngameni, has more.
They came from almost all secondary schools in Bafia, Mbam and Enubu division to take part in the finals of the FENASCO A Games. Football, handball, volleyball, table tennis, basketball, high jump without leaving out shoot put constituted the disciplines that enriched the finals. Among the winners of the competition, we have Government Modern School Bafia, Government High School Bafia, who won the football and the female and male football cup respectively. On the other hand, Government Secondary School Bafia left the competition with 12 medals. The ceremony took place in the presence of the divisional officer of Bafia, who was assisted by school authorities. I don't have much to say, just to express my satisfaction because we had no incident since the beginning of this competition. Thereby, I congratulate the players because of their spirit of fair play, and I encourage the winners of today, and I hope they will continue in the same way as far as the competition moves ahead. The principal of Government Bilingual High School Bafia expressed his satisfaction in the general organization of the finals which took part in his school premises. At this moment, I am very amazed and happy due to the good way we accomplished our work as organizers, and I call upon my students to keep up on the course of the competition and bring us more medals. The winners of the competition do not have time to jubilate because they have to get back to work immediately.
From Bafia to Addis Ababa, where the annual African Union Summit has ended in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, on a positive note. There is a new chairman who is the president of Guinea-Conakry, Alpha Condé, and the new commission chief, Musa Faki Mahamat, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Chad, and lastly, the readmission of the Kingdom of Morocco after 33 years of absence. Their most interesting being the new chairman cautioning leaders who come late for meetings or who leave early that henceforth meetings will start on time and leaders will only leave when the meetings have ended. He also lamented about the AU's failure to keep up with modern technology as he criticized old microphones, slow internet connections at the headquarters of the African Union. What Mr. Condé did not know is that in Ethiopia, For almost 6 months now, the government of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia has interrupted internet connections. And we're going to stay again concerning the readmission of the Kingdom of Morocco after she left 33 years ago. Morocco's King Mohammed VI has attended the closing ceremony of the African Union
and concerns raised here are
the first time following the kingdom's readmission into the body after, as I said, a 33-year absence. In his first address, he said his kingdom's readmission is not intended to divide the African Union, but that it will benefit Africa. King Mohammed VI had been lobbying intensely over the last years to have Morocco back into the fold of the African Union. For a bit of information, the Kingdom of Morocco is among the founding fathers of the ancestor of the African Union, that was the Organization of African Unity. And we'll be going to neighboring Nigeria, where a girl of about 10-year-old has blown herself up in northeastern Nigeria, precisely in Banki, in Borno State, when she was stopped by soldiers in a separate suicide bombing in the city of Maiduguri. One person has died. In Nigeria, Boko Haram now uses young girls and children as suicide bombers to target crowded places. That's sad. Well, that was all we were able to put together today here at Canal de English. Tomorrow is another day, God willing.